You're in the big red. Oh, well, you. Yeah. Jen. I wrote your name on that, right? There we go. There I'm going. Well, I'm gonna like speak. Do I not flowing air? No. Oh, it's not insane. Be cancer free. And he said, oh, that's he's gonna go. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm gonna go. It should go. I just go. Yeah. I wish we'd have more money. No, I didn't. Yeah. Wish I had watched or seen multiple. Yeah. Yes. Yep. I got it. Hi. She has her response too. Don't worry. Oh, yeah.
Next row, you let me stand it.
Up to the next one. My brother. Yeah. I could never get this for.
Good evening. That's a little loud, sorry about that. Good evening, I'm Matt Hopkins, Superintendent for MSAD 11. Thank you all for being here this evening for the 2025-2026 budget hearing. It's a gorgeous night out there, one of the first in very many days, and I really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us tonight versus being outside and enjoying the weather. All right, to get us started, I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, so our first order of business is to elect a moderator. Are there any nominations for moderator? I nominate Greg M for moderator.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? All right, seeing none, I close nominations. All those in favor of Greg M as moderator? Opposed? Great. Greg M has been elected as moderator. I will now swear in the moderator. Yeah. Thank you. So to you, Gregory M, swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Maine, so long as you shall continue to be a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully discharge to the best of your abilities the duties incumbent on you as the moderator of the Maine School Administrative District 11 budget meeting on May 27, 2025, according to the Constitution and the laws of the state of Maine.
I do.
Thank you, Superintendent Hopkins. Thank you, everyone, for showing up and participating in this budget meeting tonight. My first order of business is to swear in the ballot clerks, and I'll represent to the meeting that maybe a half hour ago, I met with them, and they all took an oath very similar to the one I just took and signed a paper very similar to the one I just took. I signed. If there's any objection to me doing that ahead of time, I'm happy to do it again. But if there's no objection, we'll consider them sworn in. And I'll countersign their oaths. So my next order of business is to set the rules of procedure for tonight. I'm going to be guided by the Maine Moderators Manual, which is universally used throughout the state of Maine for town meetings and school budget meetings. It's just kind of a pared down rules of parliamentary procedure. Any objection to using the main moderator's manual as our guide time? All right, so that's done. By law, someone who's not registered to vote within the district is not supposed to address the meeting without consent of 2/3 of the voters here. We do have some administrators and staff who are here who aren't registered voters, but may be called on to ask to provide information or answer questions related to the budget. That's Andrea Dish, Angela Hardy, Terry McGuire, Lauren Arnold, Sarah Sims, Katie Gould, Vicky Duguay, Tiffany Cockrell, Jeff Ellis, Josh Farr, and Nathan Studley. Is there any objection to allowing those folks to speak just to provide information? If they wanted to speak for or against something, that's not what we're approving now, and we take that up separately. So any objection to letting those folks provide information to answer questions? Okay, we'll do that. So briefly, just the big picture, this is a meeting of the legislative body of the district, which is the voters who chose to show up today. And your job tonight is to adopt a school budget that will be presented to voters at polls, at local polls on June 10th. And there's also some other things that after the school budget that are on this warrant, that the legislative body has the power to approve, so we take care of that while you're assembled here. Let's see. Briefly, just procedurally, I won't go over a ton of procedures, but just as an overview, our agenda for tonight is the warrant articles. And they're also in your budget booklet. So I'll take up each article in order. I'll read the article. I'll look for a motion and a second. And once I have that, I'll open up the floor for discussion. If you have comments or questions, please use the microphone. I think we're recording this, so it's helpful to use the microphone so you're heard and recorded. You don't have to get up to make simple motions. I'm not going to go over too much more procedures, but I'll let you know that just arm you with one tool that sometimes discussion goes on for a while. And I don't have authority to stop discussion, but you do. You can make a motion to stop talking about this and vote. It's called, you can call a question or move the previous question. No magic words, just let us know that you'd like to stop talking about something and go right to a vote. It's an extraordinary motion, so it requires 2/3 of vote. But it's it can be useful. So yeah, I'll just launch into this and we'll take care of any other procedural things as they might come up. So Article 1, see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for regular instruction. The school board recommends $13,100,871.72. Is there a motion? So Article 1's been moved and seconded. I'll open up the floor for discussion. Is there any discussion on Article 1? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor of Article 1 in the amount recommended? Thank you. Opposed? Article 1 passes in the amount recommended. Article 2, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for special education. The school board recommends $5,868,806.88. Is there any discussion on Article 2? Yes. If you don't mind, state your name and town.
Push down or slide or? I don't know.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to be able to add back the in-person speech for the middle school and high school. It was conveniently worded as multi-position, multi-position speech pathologist or something like that, versus saying that it was remote during the budget of the guys. I spoke to 8 different parents, 2 of which pulled their students from the remote speech because it was not working. My son, I have been fighting to keep it in person because remote did not work for him. 2020, we regressed with remote. We did a 6-week trial. It did not help him. The in-person has done tremendous and it is much more hands-on. You can see, hear, do everything so much better in person. And they're more than just a checkbox that we provided. So I would like to make that motion of $58,000 that was cut. And add a little bit more on for a bonus to be able to get somebody willing to come to our area to do it. So I would say like $75,000 added back to the budget for speech. So that we can provide these kids with what is best for them, not just checking a box.
Okay, so there's a motion to amend Article 2 to increase the dollar amount by $75,000. Is there a second to that motion to amend? Oh, I'm sorry. Glossed over that too.
You know how I live in West Gardner.
So again, is there a second to that motion to amend? Okay, seeing none, the motion just isn't on the floor. So, is there any other discussion or questions on Article 2? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you, opposed? Okay, Article 2 passes in the amount recommended. Article 3, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for career and technical education, the school board recommends $0.
Second, Brian.
Any discussion on Article 3? Yeah, all those in favor? Thank you, opposed? Okay, Article 3 passes in the amount recommended. Article 4, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for other instruction, the school board recommends $821,519.87.
Motion to move the article as written.
Second.
Any discussion on Article 4? All those in favor? Thank you, opposed? Article 4 passes in the amount recommended. Article 5, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for student and staff support, the school board recommends $3,386,972.05.
The article is written. Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on our Article 5? All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? The Article 5 passes as written. Article 6, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for system administration, the school board recommends $1,041,908.32.
The article is written. Right here. Oh, motion to move the article is written. Second.
Right. Any discussion on Article 6? Okay. All those in favor of Article 6? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 6 passes as written or the amount recommended. Article 7. To see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for school administration, the school board recommends $1,866,656.21.
I move to move the article as written.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of Article 7? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 7 passes as written. Article 8, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for transportation and buses, the school board recommends $2,506,345.27. Thank you. Any discussion on Article 8? All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? The Article 8 passes as written. Article 9, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for facilities maintenance. School board recommends $4,252,827.35.
Second.
Any discussion on Article 9? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 9 passes as written. Article 10, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for debt service and other commitments, school board recommends 0.
Second.
Any discussion on Article 10? All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 10 passes as written. Article 11, to see what sum the district will be authorized to expend for all other expenditures. The school board recommends $6,092.33. Any discussion on Article 11? All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 11 passes as written. Okay, the next couple articles raise revenues to support the budget. Article 12, to see what sum the district will appropriate for the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, and to see what sum the district will raise and assess as each municipality's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, in accordance with the Maine Revised Statutes, Title 28, Section 15688. There are numbers presented in 2 columns. The column on the left is state's determination of essential programs and services allocation, what it takes to provide a bare minimum education in the district. And it totals $24,205,038.51. On the right-hand side is the amount that the district needs to raise in order to be eligible to receive state subsidy, and it's broken up by municipality. The total is $8,193,520. There's a statutory explanation printed in italics that I won't read, but I will if somebody would like me to. Okay, is there a motion for Article 12?
Second.
Thank you. Is there a discussion on Article 12? Yeah, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 12 passes as written. Article 13, so by law, this is required to be done by a written ballot. And we'll go over the procedures after we're done discussing this. Article 13, to see what sum the district will raise and appropriate in additional local funds, recommend $505,832,461.49, which exceeds the state's essential programs and services allocation model by a recommended $5,832,461.49 as required to fund the budget recommended by the school board. The school board gives the following reasons for exceeding the state's essential programs and services funding model. These funds are needed to fund costs of supporting 4 community schools that the essential programs and services funding model does not recognize, to provide greater academic support in the form of educational technicians in district classrooms than the essential programs and services funding model recognizes, to pay for co-curricular costs not recognized by the essential programs and services funding model, and to pay for transportation costs not recognized by the essential programs and services funding model. Once again, there's a statutory explanation that's printed in italics. Is there any, is there a motion?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on Article 13? Okay, seeing that, we're gonna move to vote by written ballot. Did everyone get a ballot when they checked in? Is that how we know? So they're going back to see you to get a ballot and, okay. So the process is, go see your clerk, they'll give you a ballot. Yes or no, yes if you're in favor of Article 13, no if you're not, and deposit it in the ballot box, please. Thank you. Okay, is there anybody who wants to vote who hasn't yet voted? Last call for votes. It looks like we're all set, so I'll ask the ballot clerks to count ballots, please.
Which way?
Okay, so we'll come back to order. The results of the votes were 40 yes and 0 no. So Article 13 passes as written. Okay, Article 14. To see what sum the district will authorize the school board to expend for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, and ending June 30, 2026, from the district's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from pre-kindergarten to grade 12 as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, local funds for non-state funded school construction debt service, additional local funds for school purposes under the Maine revised statutes, Title 20A, Section 15690, unexpended balances, tuition receipts, state subsidy, and other receipts for the support of schools. School board recommends $32,852,000.
The article is written. Second.
Thank you. Is there discussion on Article 14? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Article 14 passes as recommended. Article 15, to see if the district will appropriate $252,000 for adult education and raise $105,450 as the local share, with authorization to expend any additional, incidental, or miscellaneous receipts in the interest and for the well-being of the adult education program.
Okay.
Any discussion on Article 15? All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 15 passes as written. Article 16, in addition to amounts approved in the preceding articles, shall the school board be authorized to expend such other sums as may be received from federal or state grants or programs or other sources during the fiscal year for school and other program purposes, provided that such grants, programs, or other sources do not require the expenditure of other funds not previously appropriated.
Motion to put the article is written.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on Article 16? All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Article 16 passes as written. Article 17, shall the school board be authorized to transfer $400,000 from available fund balances to the Special Education Reserve Fund and to expend from the Special Education Reserve Fund as needed in the discretion of the school board?
Motion to move the article is written. Second.
Okay, discussion on Article 17. All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Article 17 passes as written. Article 18, shall the school board be authorized to transfer $50,000 from available fund balances to the Capital Reserve Fund and to expend from the Capital Reserve Fund as needed in the discretion of the school board?
Motion to move the article as written. Second.
Is there discussion on Article 18? All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Article 18 passes as written. Article 19, shall the district authorize the school board to transfer the district's unallocated balances in excess of 5% of the prior fiscal year's budget as determined by audit to that fund, and shall the district delegate authority to the school board to expend sums in the contingency fund when the school board determines by public vote that an emergency need exists, and to transfer sums in the contingency fund to the district's general fund for use in school operating budgets approved by district voters?
The article as written. Second.
Thank you. Is there discussion on Article 19? All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Article 19 passes as written. Article 20, shall the school board be authorized to transfer amounts exceeding 5% of the total appropriation for any cost center to another cost center or among other cost centers for the 2025-2026 fiscal year, provided that transfers shall not be permitted to increase the authorized total school budget?
Motion to move the article as written.
Second.
Thank you. Is there discussion on Article 20? All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Article 20 passes as written.